Hello there, dear listeners, and welcome to this playthrough of the adventure His Last Hope from the Screams and Whispers scenario collection for KULT Divinity Lost that is upcoming. This adventure was originally published for the second edition of the Swedish version of KULT back in the 90s. It's written by Magnus Seter, who is also the guy behind Gallery of Souls that we played around Christmas time. And joining me today is, as always, Hjalmar. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, my dear friend. How are you? I
am spiffy. I'm very much looking forward to this particular adventure, given that it is one of the first adventures that I've read for KULT. And I am really looking forward to actually getting to run it for someone. So, yeah. And, of course, Craig as well. How are you, sir?
I am very good. I am looking forward to today's session and looking forward to delving once again into the dark world of KULT Divinity Lost.
Indeed. And a little bit of a content warning on this particular scenario. KULT goes into dark places. This one deals quite a bit with child abuse. So if that is a topic that is not what you would like to listen to, that is perfectly all right. Feel free to skip this one and move on to something else. All right. With all that said, let us move into this scenario. It's October 2019, and we find ourselves in the city of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Once home to the venerable Bethlehem Steel Company, it's the epitome of a Rust Belt city. Globalization and the dismantling of American manufacturing hasn't been kind to the area. The opioid epidemic continues to run rampant and claims more lives every year as despair and lack of hope for the future grows. Maybe that is why you left. But it wasn't a bad place to grow up. I mean, not really. Not all of it, anyway. What has made you think of the past of Bethlehem is the letter that you have received in the mail. Who even sends letters these days? The letter read, "Gather forth, brave adventurers. It was so many years ago that the angels roamed the woods behind our school. Even though we have drifted apart over the years, I implore you to meet me at the Underground Cafe on Saturday at 7:30. I need you to take up arms with me and slay the dragon that dwells in the crow's nest." A rush of memories flood your mind. The angels. Your old gang. Well, the gang that the other kids called the Freaks. You were a closely knit group, brought and held together by your statuses as outcasts. 4 of you remain. Michael, Ursula, Ralph, and Gabrielle. You have no idea which of the others sent this letter, but you remember your childhood summers. The D&D games in the basement that Ralph DM'd, the abandoned house that you called the Crow's Nest, and the many things that you experienced there. It's Saturday, October 26th. The skies are dark and rain sweeps through the city. It's not a friendly, warm rain, but one that chills anyone outside to the bone. The cafe is in the basement of a reclaimed industrial building. Rusty iron staircase leads down into the darkness. The pale glow from the cafe's neon sign is the only light visible. The door opens inwards and a small bell jingles as you enter. The cafe is filled with posters and paintings celebrating the history of the town. Steel mill, now turned into a casino. And it even has some memorabilia celebrating the Eagles' Super Bowl win last year. There's an old woman behind the counter at the cafe who you noticed is a bit hard of hearing, but she was very nice as you made your order. Aside from you, though, there are no other customers here tonight. Ralph, you've arrived first. Can you describe yourself as you're sitting there by a table?
I am a man in roughly early 30s, very thin, very scrawny, sort of coppery brown hair, very large, thick glasses, pale skin. I don't get much sun. Currently wearing a quite nice shirt, buttoned up, beige chinos, leather shoes. I've got a Rolex watch on, and I've got a bag which I've brought my laptop in because, of course, I need that. And I've sort of just come in, looking around a bit awkwardly. I get a bit anxious being in places like this. I don't really like being in places with a lot of people, so it's a little awkward. But again, I'm curious as to who called us here. I don't really know who it would be, but I'm sure I can figure it out, I guess. I just hope it's not Michael, because it doesn't seem like Michael would do something like this, though. He never was smart enough for that. He was never smart enough for coming up with things on the fly. Whatever. Anyway, I'll go and sit in a corner, and as I see no one else here, I'll take out my laptop and start running it quickly, checking my emails, checking my game accounts, forum posts. Don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of good, juicy content on Paul over at 8chan. A little bit of news on Q Research as well. Yeah, a lot of that conspiracy stuff that you find fascinating, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Harmless, mostly. But, I mean, some of it's real. Like, the stuff they put in the pills. That pharmaceutical company, that was all real. Totally proven. And no one knew about it, except, 20, 30 people. But, man, that was fun to be part of. And, yeah, I kind of smile at that. But again, I feel awkward because I think people are looking at me, and I don't like that.
No, you don't. The bell jingles. Gabrielle, you arrive as well. Can you describe yourself as you open the door? And as you recognize Ralph, because of course you would recognize Ralph, you were expecting him to be here. He's usually early. The DM is always first, and he is sitting right there.
Yeah, I've got dark hair, dark skin, wearing a leather jacket with some pins on, a Susie and the Banshees t-shirt, black jeans, Doc Marten boots, studded belt. I come in with a little backpack as well, just things that I thought I'd bring, like a notebook and stuff. Didn't take me too long to drive here from New York, but I don't know what the plan was really, so I did. I'm getting ready to drive back, even if it's gonna be late. I wanna be home with my cat before the end of the night, but this is funny, and there he is. There's Ralph, the uber nerd, the comics superhero Star Wars guy, and he's always super nice, but I was always a bit intimidated by his brains. It's like hard to get past that. He'd always know something that you didn't, kind of.
Gabrielle, you haven't seen Ralph since high school, but Ralph, I mean, yeah. You know exactly how Gabrielle looks these days. So yeah, there you are. No one else seems to be showing up. At least not yet.
But I see Ralph having folded down his laptop, and he's kind of staring into space. It seems like he's intently not looking my way, so he knows I'm here. So I'm making my way over.
Hey, Gabrielle. Hey, you look great. Wow.
Thanks. I kind of stand awkwardly. I mean, have not seen you for a while. I've never been a hugger or anything, and I don't know. I'm like, and after a while, I just sit down. So you're bringing everyone. I mean, together. How are you?
Oh no! I wouldn't bring us to a cafe. I mean, those Zoom calls, really easy to set up and far more convenient for most people. Plus, you can play at any time of day or talk any time of day, and then when you're done, you could just go back to what you were doing. No, it's not me. Is it you? No, you've asked me, so it can't be you.
Okay, you still play? You still play with people?
I look a bit awkward. I say, only a little. Not that much. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I still play the guitar, and there's a look going over my face, like a bit of a pained look, but it quickly disappears. We gotta keep to what makes us happy, but that's funny. Then who could it be?
I mean, it couldn't be Ursula. She wouldn't be able to organise something. Not that, she couldn't organise things, but, well, she just wasn't very good. But then I did,
I start, picking at the label on the bottle. Well, I don't know. You shouldn't... Yeah. I'm thinking to myself that he shouldn't underestimate her. She was wild and always did things her own way, but, people change. And I say that last bit. I don't know, Ralph. People change.
Oh, I don't know. Not as much as you think. Look, I'm the same. Practically. Fit tall.
Yeah, I guess. I just popped out the white contact lens and let my hair down.
Yeah, I mean, the white. It was kind of funny, though, that little contact lens you had. I thought it was cool. I guess.
What about Michael, then?
Michael couldn't. I mean, he barely even knew his attack-based stats back in the day. Oh, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what he's been up to, so, who knows? I sort of, again, say quite awkwardly.
What about you? We haven't talked for many years.
No.
What have you been...
Oh, not much. I work for a IT company. I do, basic security networking, basic backup systems, that sort of thing. It's not that exciting, but, it's kind of fun sometimes. I earn money. I have my own apartment. Yeah. I'm doing great.
I just nod.
I'll sip my Diet Coke and again seem a little awkward. It's difficult to know what to say. You always know what to say when you type something out, because then you have time to think about it, and you can make it sound quite clever. But when you're actually speaking, I stutter a lot, and it irritates me. That.
I look at the clock. Are we early, or...?
Well, I mean, I'm on time, so... Yeah, I'm on time, so... Yeah, I guess the others are late, as usual. Again, at least when you're on the computer at home, you can just do something else. But,
I take out the letter. I just look at it, and I try to... just get any idea of who is the likely one between Michael and Ursula. Their handwriting would be quite different. I couldn't see Michael doing this, though.
And the thing is that it's not handwriting. It's written with a typewriter.
Who would have a typewriter?
It's funny that he didn't even tell us... Well, they didn't even tell us what we're playing. I mean, I've got a couple of quick characters if we're playing, I don't know, something simple like D&D. So I can... You could look if you wanted. And I kind of press a few buttons on my laptop and just show a bunch of PDFs of pre-made characters for a basic Dungeons & Dragons.
I start scrolling through with a bit of interest. And I get so nostalgic in a way, especially from his enthusiasm. And looking at these sheets and the added pictures, it's nice. It's more nice than it is painful thinking back. This was something that was good in that time.
It was time that you spent together with your little group. It was some of the best times that you can remember from your time in Bethlehem. The rest was a lot of angst and pain and all that other stuff that goes with growing up, and especially being outcasts. It wasn't particularly easy, but the time that you were adventuring together, those were some of the best times. You haven't played for a long time. Well, since then, really. I mean, you got into other things, didn't you? And other people.
I notice you looking over the screen, and I feel good. That's good. So do you still like to play rogues or sorcerers? Or do you think you'd be into something different tonight?
Oh, I haven't played for such a long time. This one's cool. The wizard. This isn't this the same name that you used way back? It feels familiar.
Oh, probably. I don't know. I had to come up with so many names. I was always the DM.
Heuschober.
Yeah.
The bell jingles, and the door opens.
I look over.
Yeah, you all focus on the door, given that everything is quite quiet in here. And into the cafe comes a man, dressed in rags, soaked in rain. He looks very much like a homeless man. There's an earthy smell that fills the room. Something wild and slightly animalistic in his eyes. He immediately spots you and begins striding over to your table. What do you do?
I blink. I quickly grab my laptop and just slowly close it and bring it close, because I'm worried that some guy's just come off the street and is going to try and steal my laptop.
That would be very bad, wouldn't it? The man comes over to your table and he picks out a plastic bag from his pocket and he throws it out on the table in front of you. And then promptly turns around and begins to leave.
I just look at him. And then I look over to Ralph with a questioning look, holding the beer in my hand.
That was weird. I quickly stow my laptop away into the carry satchel I have, because I'm concerned about its safety suddenly.
The door closes, and he has left.
And then I look at the bag on the table, slightly anxious, like, why did he just drop a bag on the table? That was weird.
You see that it's a plastic bag, and inside of it is a crumpled letter.
I will reach out for the letter and try and read it.
Well, the letter, it's not in an envelope or anything. You immediately see it as you take it out of the bag. It's written in the same typeface as the letters you received. It's even written on the same kind of paper.
I grimace as I see him take it out of that bag. I just imagine it dirty.
I start looking over this letter. I do feel a bit anxious as well about where it's come from, but I'm curious as well, because what is this?
The letter reads, "We angels swore to always be together and stand up for each other. I was always there for you whenever you needed me. Protected you from bullies, helped you with your homework, drew art for the games we played. But did you help me? Did you care? No, you let me tag along, but you never were there for me. No one was. You left me to deal with all the horrors myself. Well, I can't go on alone any longer. Now's the time I need your help. So I call on you, my friends, my angels. Meet me at the Crow's Nest tonight. I've become the NPC in need of a brave band of adventurers to save me. So please, save me." And it's signed Thomas. And it's summer 1999. You are 12 years old. And you've reached the end of the summer vacation. The summer has been warm and good. There are 5 members of the Angels: Michael, Ursula, Ralph, Gabrielle, and Thomas. The Angels have been on many adventures and not gotten into too much trouble, with some exceptions, of course. How was it again that the bullies found you, and what happened?
So we were gonna go on our bikes down to the lake where we'd like to meet, and it was easy and nice, just being off a bit for the summer. But then, as we were going to the place where we usually meet, they were there. And we figured, I don't know, I wanted to just go somewhere else, because I didn't want to face them, and I think most were the same. But Michael kind of insisted that, no, we're not going to be pushed around, we'll just be a bit far away. So we were sitting there and trying to have a nice time. That's the way I remember it.
Yeah. And what happened then, Ralph?
Well, obviously it didn't last, did it? Because, they're bastards. Like, they saw us and they just came over and it was all the usual, oh, hey, look, it's the angels. And they do that thing with their mouth where they kind of... It was like they were kissing something. I never even got why that was supposed to be funny, but they found it hilarious. And yeah, and then of course Michael started getting defensive because, that's what he did. But there were 4 of them and only one of him because I wasn't going to do anything. I can't do anything. They're too big.
Thomas tried to get up as well, tried to help Michael out. Michael kind of pushed Thomas a little bit behind him, wanting to be the main one to stand in the way. But yeah, it didn't end all that well, did it? You ended up having to leave, and Thomas got a black eye from that incident. Michael, nothing serious, of course, just, not a fun way to end that day. You stuck together, and you helped each other through it like you always did. And it's a new day now. And you're meeting by the lake again, as you have done during every morning this summer. There's only one difference, though. Thomas isn't here. Maybe he got sick, Michael says.
Maybe he's planning something.
It's not like him, Michael says. He always comes here. I know he doesn't want to be at home. You know that too, right? You know that he hates his parents. You know that Thomas lives with, well, he calls them his parents, but they're not actually his parents. You know that. It's his foster parents, Mr. and Mrs. Donner. They're a slightly older couple than your parents. They have kids in their late teens. Very religious and well respected from what you know. They have a big house, but, Thomas has never invited you inside. In fact, he tries to stay away from there as much as possible.
Yeah, and I feel really worried. There's something about Thomas. I always find him kind of attractive because he's got this brooding side. He comes up with a lot of ideas of the stuff that we should do, but it's something about this emotional unavailability that I just find so attractive.
Yeah. Ralph, how do you feel about Thomas?
Oh, he's kind of a leader, isn't he? And, that's fun. It's great to play D&D with. He always comes up with cool ideas. And he's just the kind of person you follow, I guess. I don't know. It's nice to have someone who leads. I'm not a leader. Not really. And I do say, maybe he got in trouble with his parents. Maybe the black eye. Like, they always blame him for everything, don't they? I don't know.
What do you guys say? Why don't we swing by? Just see if he's there. I just want to make sure he's all right. Maybe he can't come out today because of that, but I just want to make sure he's not in trouble.
You sure that's a good idea? He was always quite... He really didn't want us to go around there. Like that one time last summer when he was sick, he was just like, don't come. I don't know.
Yeah, but, if this is because of them, the bullies, I don't like it. We could just let him know that we... show that we all, it wasn't his fault. Maybe he needs us.
Yeah, Ursula nods. Yeah, you're right, yeah. We should totally swing by.
And I look over at her and it's like something, it's always something that bugs me about Ursula. She's great. I love her, but there's always something, as long as she doesn't start to sing, I'm fine. And I sit back up on my bike again, expecting, I guess, someone to take the lead.
I nod and say, all right then, yeah, let's go. I guess you can lead, Michael?
He nods. Yes, I will. and he sounds just like his paladin character that he normally plays. As you get on your bikes and you start heading for Thomas's house. And when you arrive, you immediately realize that something is terribly wrong. Because there's a police car parked outside, and there's a police officer hunched over, vomiting just outside the front door, while another is desperately using the intercom in the cruiser to call for, well, I think they call for backup in the movies, right? That must be what he's doing. What do you do?
I just stare and look around, and I try not to think silly things, because, I mean, I'm really into my cop shows and stuff on the internet, and, yeah, like, isn't this normally how things look like on that detective show? But no, because that's a TV show. This doesn't happen in real life. And I look to Michael and I just say, maybe we should...
No, come on, we gotta find Thomas. We gotta make sure he's okay. I mean, something has obviously happened. Police are here.
Yeah, I know, but police are here. We're just kids. We'll get in the way.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? We're just kids. What are they gonna do? Come on. And Michael begins moving towards the house, kind of in a almost military fashion. He looks behind him to see if anyone follows. Does anyone follow?
I get off my bike, and I do follow with a bit of hesitance, but I feel that he's right. Yeah, Michael's right. And I look back at Ursula. Is he throwing up?
I think so. It's too freaky. I'm gonna stay right here. I'll guard the bikes. Be careful.
I nod a bit hesitantly before following Michael.
I don't want to be left behind, even though Ursula technically is staying behind. I mean, I like Ursula too, but, you know, I kind of like Gabrielle more. So, yeah, she'd think I'd look stupid if I just stayed. Okay, I'm not scared. I'll go and follow.
Alright. And the two police officers are at the front of the house, and they seem very, very busy. There's some bushes and trees that you can move around quite easily. You're, used to this kind of stuff, sneaking around houses and like, looking in, that kind of stuff that you would do all the time. You're able to get around to the back of the house where you know that there is a door as well. And Michael has already started moving towards that door to try and get inside the house.
Kind of try and whisper loudly to Michael. Michael, what are you doing? We can see from here. You don't need to go in the house. That's trespassing.
He's our friend, Michael whispers. And he opens the door, and the door is actually unlocked. So he disappears inside. What do the two of you do now, Gabrielle and Ralph? You are outside here, hiding in a bush.
Michael's always so stupid.
Well, we gotta find out. I mean, something's happened.
Oh yeah, police are doing stuff. Like, we could ask the police.
Why don't you do that, so at least they'll be distracted, and we'll go inside.
You put it like that, it sounds... Okay. You think that's something I should do, Gabrielle?
I mean, I could do it too, but might be a good idea.
I take a deep breath, and I feel more comfortable walking out to police officers than I do whatever's going on here. Something feels very wrong. So, yeah, I'm a big boy. I'll leave the area and come round a bit and just start walking towards the police. Slowly, just sort of like looking like a kid, wanting to know what's going on.
You do that. Meanwhile, Gabrielle, you moving after Michael?
Yeah.
You get inside the house, and you see Michael's back standing in the living room. He is frozen still. Smells funny. You've been to a slaughterhouse once? That's how this smells.
It's cold and meaty, the smell.
Yeah.
unwillingly just grimace and move up. What is it, Michael?
He is trying to say something, but nothing comes out. You get closer, and you see what he sees. There's bodies on the floor in the living room, dismembered and disemboweled. From the mantelpiece on top of the fireplace, the heads of the Donners stare at you. I would like you to roll to keep it together.
I roll 17.
What is it about this that makes you able to just push through and not at all really get all that affected by it? This is a gruesome scene. This is the most horrible thing you've ever seen, except for, maybe in horror movies. Maybe it's that, the fact that it is kind of like that.
I love all things kind of grotesque. I'm wearing my Marilyn Manson t-shirt, and it's like a fantasy. Just seeing this, it seems like I'm in another place, like where something that I would imagine, and I get upset. It just doesn't get to me somehow. I feel like I kind of should be like the police officer wanting to throw up, but I just cover my nose and I just look at it. And I look at Michael, and I try to make him turn away.
He's white as a sheet. You see that there are bloody hammers, pliers, knives, and saws that are scattered around on the floor here and in the other rooms. You should go to the Thomas room. I think it's on the second floor. Come on. Michael begins leading the way upstairs. He could obviously not know where the room is, but they tend to be on the second floor.
Yeah, that's good, Michael. Come on, let's go up.
You go up and you see the two children that the Donners have. They are in their beds, these teenagers, lying there, having been stabbed and are very dead, but not dismembered or anything like that. Doesn't look like there's been much of a struggle.
Shit.
And then there's Thomas' room. There's a sign that says Thomas, probably written when he was a much younger kid. And that room shows signs of struggle, but no Thomas there. Where is he?
Thomas? I start looking in the wardrobes.
Michael is looking around as well. Where are you? Ralph, you are moving towards the police officers. The police officer was calling for backup, sees you as you come approaching. Sorry, kid, this is a crime scene. You shouldn't be here. You should go back to your parents.
Oh, yeah, it's just that I was supposed to meet... My friend lives here. Is he okay?
I can't tell you anything more. This isn't safe. You shouldn't be here. Just please go. And he continues speaking on the radio. Just 10-4. And what are you trying to do here? Would you like to try to distract the police officer or do something else?
I think I'll try and just step awkwardly over to the one who just came out and was vomiting. And I'm just looking at him and again, I just say, yeah, I'll be going, but my friend is everyone okay? What's happened?
Get out of here, kid. He starts shooing you away.
I'll start backing off, but I'm hoping that even this has distracted them a little bit.
Yeah. You do buy them time. But eventually you see the man who had called for backup start moving towards the house. Will you try and stop him?
I'll kind of look to the house and then very loudly yell, "Thomas! Thomas!" Slightly awkwardly, hoping that they hear me if they've gone in the house yelling.
Yes. You've started to call Thomas' name. And you do hear someone calling Thomas from the outside as well. Michael just looks, what? He looks to you, Gabrielle.
I'm standing by one of the wardrobes, and I just say, "Damn, come on." And I step into the wardrobe.
You do that, and you hear the steps coming closer, and someone's looking around. And then the footsteps grow more silent again. And now, Ralph, you see another police car arrive. And this is your chance to get out without the police officers finding you. Gabrielle and Michael, I'd like you to do one act under pressure here to see how you are able to exit without the police finding you.
16.
You were never there. You don't end up learning all that much about what happened there. You obviously saw what had been done to the Dawners. You watched the news and you learned that some group of people had entered the house, killed the family, and abducted your friend Thomas. The police looked for him for months, until the search was eventually called off. His desk at school remained empty until the end of the year, but he never came back. And he remains missing to this day. And the day is, of course, October 26th, 2019, again. And you're back at the Underground Cafe, looking at this letter that mentions the Crow's Nest. This old house that you used to play in when you were young. You weren't really sure if the house was truly deserted or if someone squatted there, but you know that no one found you during your expeditions there. It's about a 30-minute drive from here. It used to take you more than an hour to get there on your bikes. The memory of what you saw in the house, Gabrielle, it returns very viscerally to you, but just like then, you're able to control it. It doesn't get to you.
I've wondered many times how that's kind of affected me, or what it says about me if it didn't. Man, this is kind of, I don't know if this is some kind of joke. Do you have the numbers of, like, Ursula or Michael?
I do, actually, and yeah, it's obviously a joke. And I kind of quickly start telling her their numbers, but inside, I'm thinking I know who it has to be. It has to be Frankie Wallace, or Joey Trabani, or Milton. But how would they know? How would they know? They don't know it was me. And also, wait, isn't one of them in prison? But how would they know? But it must be one of them. It must be one of them. They found out it was me, and this is a joke, and they're gonna fucking beat me up. Oh shit! And I kind of try and keep that all in, and I just give you these numbers.
I call as he's having this internal conversation. I try first calling Michael.
And the signals go through, but nobody picks up. Ralph, you know that Michael doesn't actually know your number. You haven't spoken to him. You just happen to know the number. So to him, you gather this would look like an unknown number calling him.
I think that in my mind, but I don't want to bring it up with Gabrielle, because then she might question, why do I have their numbers if I haven't rung them? So I just go, oh, okay, well, they're obviously not. We could wait a little longer here. It's a joke, Gabrielle. It's a sick joke. We're definitely not going to this place because, I mean, they got some homeless man to come in and bring a message in.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's kind of our style in a way. It kind of fits too much. It's like, who would know about this? And I call Ursula as well.
And it has much the same effect there. No one picks up.
We'll go. Come on. I've got a car.
What?
How did you get here?
Bus. Gabrielle, we have no idea who's going to be there. It could be like Milton or someone. It could be one of the bullies.
I mean, where do you say you live these days? You're like way out west, aren't you?
Yeah. I live on the coast. It took
and
a
you
few
came all the way here, and you're not gonna. I mean, we're just gonna hang out.
Well, a couple of buses. It's not so bad. And I thought it was one of you guys, but it can't be Thomas. He's dead.
Well, look, it can still be Michael or Ursula.
And it could
Right?
be some other people.
What? Who?
I kind of clam up a little. Okay, let's just go. We could at least look and see if people are there, I guess.
I look at you a bit suspiciously. I stand up. It's like, what do you mean other people? Did you tell anyone about all this stuff?
No, I haven't
me?
told anyone about this, but you know who would know? Half the bullies in school would know all these things.
You think they would, like, this bullies in school from, 20 years ago would go through all this just to get us to a place? Who holds that kind of grudge?
Plenty of people hold those sort of grudges, Gabrielle. Come on, we're grown up now. Milton went to jail. He did an armed robbery. I saw it in a paper, and I knew it was him. It had his mugshot.
And it wasn't our fault, was it?
No.
Come on, are you coming? Come on.
I kind of start following meekly. I'm trying to be logical. It can't be Milton because he's in jail. And the other guy, he lives in California. I know that. It couldn't really be any of them. It doesn't logically make sense. I know where they are. And they don't know it was me.
As you come out to the car, and you see that there's a bass guitar in a case on the passenger seat. So I move that to the back and then get into the front seat.
I'll get in the back and sit in the back of the car, taking a deep breath. Granted, the car smells a bit like Gabrielle, which is quite nice.
Well, what's wrong with you? This isn't a taxi. I made this place for you.
Okay, sure. And I kind of move at the front. And again, I feel really awkward because I feel very close to Gabrielle at the front of the car. And she's wearing a really nice jacket. It's the one she used to wear in some of those photos. I've seen it before. It's a good one. I feel really awkward, though. I just sort of cross my arms. Okay, we'll just go to the place, and if we see a bunch of people waiting outside with baseball bats, then we're going.
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen to you, man. It's just a bunch of people with baseball bats. What did you do? Did you mess with any of these old bullies?
Of course not. You look at me and mess with one of those guys. Like, one of those guys was like 8 foot tall, I swear, when I was a kid.
Yeah, they've got their own, like, they've got their trailer homes and their, filthy kids to look after. It's not like they're gonna care about us. They're full of their own bud and sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah, sure, you're right. And I sit back in my seat and try not to think how wrong she could be.
Indeed. And you begin driving towards the crow's nest. You have to drive through the city of Bethlehem first, of course, and then you start getting out towards the outskirts of town, and you get to the road that leads to the crow's nest, which is this narrow dirt road that makes its way through rather dense forest, although it's gotten a lot denser and a lot, darker than you used to remember it. I don't remember it being this thick when you used to bike through it as kids. But then again, 20 years has passed, right? It's continuing to rain as you're driving, and the rain is pattering against the windshield. Is the radio on, Gabrielle? Or do you have music going?
Yeah, sure. I'm playing a radio station with a bit alternative music, like the Chameleons.
It's cool music. You had this car long?
Yeah, too long. It's I don't know. I should probably give it up and get another one. It's just some things feel so unnecessary to spend money on. You don't drive?
Oh no, there wouldn't be any point. I work from home a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, so that's why a bus or two gets me where I need to go. And like you said, a bit of an unnecessary expense. And it's cool you have a car though.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that you're taking a stand there. I mean, most people just do it the easy way, which is driving. So.
Yeah, taking a stand. That's one way to put it. Yeah. Besides, again, it's unnecessary, and it cuts down on pollution as well. You know how it is. They tell you in the papers that the pollution is going down, but actually there's a shocking amount of evidence that it's going up in several pharmaceutical companies as well as the gas companies. Because at the end of the day, they're all out just to make money. They don't care about the environment, even if they say they do. Especially that environmental blue. Yeah, don't give any money to their charities.
And I sit there and I have the images in my head. I can almost remember the smell of that time. And I can remember the doors to the rooms on the upper floor slightly ajar. How peaceful they looked. The other kids. Like someone just went in there and put a knife in them. It makes me cringe.
Yes. And as you do that, you continue driving. You have to slow down because thick fog descends on the forest, or it was already there, and decreases visibility quite a bit. The fog is very thick, and the humid, heavy air makes it necessary to keep the wipers constantly going, together with the rain, of course.
Good thing I brought my umbrella.
Yeah, this is almost like someone ordered fog for a role-playing session.
Yeah, roll for visibility, and then there'll be some lightning in a moment, and yeah. Huh.
Soon the sides of the road are no longer visible. The forest beyond is only glimpsed as a dark and menacing shape.
You sure this was the way? I mean, it's been a while.
I think so.
Suddenly you hear a piercing sound, a desperate and anguished cry, as a shadow throws itself against the windshield. Fuck! Did you hit somebody? Here in the middle of nowhere? Thick veils of fog are ripped to shreds, and you see a deformed being press its white face against the glass. Its eyes are wide open, the face is crisscrossed by open wounds, and blood runs out of its mouth and nostrils. And then the being is torn away from the windshield, and you catch a glimpse of some misshapen shadow that disappears on all fours into the fog. And you've stopped the car. You just hear the windshield wipers going back and forth. The windshield is covered with blood and pus. I need you both to roll to keep it together.
9.
9 as well.
And you will both lose 2 stability, as you are really taken aback by this. Did you kill something? Is that what happened? Is someone dead because of you? What the hell? You better go see what happened. I mean, maybe you can still help them? If nothing else, you have to clean the windshield. You can't see anything through all that blood.
I just I lean back in my seat and just sort of grip the sort of handlebar that I'm using to lean my arm on, and I'm just like, oh, fuck,
I'm just sitting in complete silence as I turn on the windshield wiper fluid to try and wash this off. I blink. I just close my eyes and look back up at the mess. We need to check if we hit something.
Oh, we don't. No, we don't. No, Gabrielle, don't go out. Don't go out. No.
And I'm already opening the car door.
Yes, you are.
I weakly reach out to her, but it seems like she's probably already has left the vehicle by the time I brush her shoulder.
Gabrielle, as you're moving out, there is something about that face that you saw. I'd like you to roll reason.
5.
Yeah. There's something, but... Fuck, if you could remember it now. You see the windshield is just covered by all this blood and pus, and the rain is pouring down on you as you're standing out here by your windshield. You hear something rustling out in the forest. And Ralph, you're sitting there in the seat. Alright, what do you do?
I anxiously sit there. I start fidgeting. I get out my phone. Do I have any signal on my phone? It's a good phone.
It is. Who are you going to call?
My thumb hovers over the 99. And then I think, no, Gabrielle will get in trouble. She was the one driving, but she isn't under the influence. The person jumped out. The thing jumped out. It's not a real person. No, this is like I heard happened in Turkey. This is a trick. There's people outside. They're gonna rob us and rape us. I've seen this happen before. I kind of just meekly say, Gabrielle, just get back in the car. Get back in the car, please. It's not safe.
Hello? Anyone here? I try to look in the front of the car just to see if there's... I mean, if anything was... It came on the windshield and then was pulled back or fell back. I'm not sure what happened, and I try to keep out the image of that because I was just thinking about Thomas's house and those things. So it's probably something in my mind that just tied it together, and it was probably not as gruesome as it looked.
No, it couldn't have been. I mean, if you think about it, there's no way that this was a person. You think you can hear the sound like an injured animal, but it's like the sound becomes weaker and weaker. Maybe it's rushing off. There are raccoons here in the forest. You know that, you've seen those. Maybe it was a really large one, yeah, or stray dog. I mean, surely that must have been it. I mean, the car isn't like badly damaged or anything like that. It's just all this blood and pus on the window.
So yeah, maybe it fell down from a tree or something, like a sick one, and somehow I can't make sense of it. But I'm getting soaked here. I get back into the car and close the door.
I breathe a sigh of relief as you get back in, and I look at you all soaking wet. I feel awkward, and I try and take out a handkerchief and hey, you want to dry up? Look, it's fine. The rain will clear the screen in a minute. Look, it's mostly gone now, and it was just a raccoon or something. Let's just turn around, drive back, and get back to the cafe, and just forget this. This is a stupid idea. What are we doing driving in the middle of rain into an abandoned house somewhere? It might not even be there anymore, you know? It's probably been knocked down.
I take the handkerchief and start wiping my face. And I try to get an idea of where we are and how far it would be left. And if I can't figure it out in my head, I'll probably look at the map in my phone.
You bring up the map in your phone. You're somewhere in that forest where the crow's nest is at, but the GPS keeps jumping back and forth as if it's not completely able to like pinpoint an exact location. Maybe it's all these dense trees or something that's interfering.
I mean, yeah, that was that was weird. You think we should go back?
Yes, I do. Let's just forget it. I mean, again, there'll be, at worst, best case scenario, there's weird people waiting to play a joke on us. Because it's not Thomas, and it's not going to be Michael or Ursula, because they're not even answering their phones.
Okay, let's try and find a place to turn around where we have some space. The forest is too close to the car, so let's just go ahead until we find a turning spot, okay?
Okay.
I don't want to back in this fog and, it's just gonna take forever.
Yeah. Are you okay? You're soaking wet.
Yeah, it's just rain. It's just... And I look at the wind screen.
The rain has taken care of most of the blood and pus now. You could, of course, go out and wipe it completely so that you really can see everything. If you are content to leave it like this, you think you'll be able to drive, but it is a little bit worrying with all this fog. It's very difficult to see anything.
Okay,
I should probably wipe the rest off by hand. This is not going off.
Wait, no. You've been out there already. I'll go. Hang on, and I just sort of make sure to leave the laptop and my phone and all the electronics in the car, as I don't want them getting wet, and I throw my jacket on.
All right, the scraper is down there, the passenger side.
Yeah. And I'll dive out of the car and really quickly try and just get on the windshield and try and clean it as best I can quickly, because I don't want to be out here any longer than I have to be.
And you're out there and the rain just pours down on you, and there's all this blood and pus on the window, and you're able to get rid of most of it with the scraper, but it sort of comes onto your hands as well, and this stinks. What the hell?
It's fine. There's rain everywhere. I just sort of use the rain, get it off me.
That you do. And the fog is really thick, isn't it? Alright, but the windshield is clear now. Okay, this should help. Maybe now you can get out of here.
Yeah, I quickly dive back in the car, take a moment to clean my glasses. Again, I'm now wet and soaked as well. I look at Gabrielle. I feel a little guilty. That thought in my mind totally goes to us both being soaking wet and needing to remove clothing. That's a stupid thought, don't think that. And focus on the scary situation. And I just have a wide variety of feelings as I lean back in the seat and say, okay, let's just go.
And where do you go, Gabrielle?
I keep going onward. Part of me still want to go to the place, so I'm making this as a bit of an excuse to find a place where we can turn around. But I also feel like Ralph is... we're both pretty upset. I don't know, maybe he's just showing it more. I hope it's not coming through as much for me. I try to keep cool and I try to talk about something. As I drive onwards into the fog, but going very slowly now because the incredibly poor visibility.
Yeah, and Ralph, you see Gabrielle's hands, they're shaking, and she's also doing these, she's kind of tapping on the steering wheel in an almost manic fashion. Gabrielle, you haven't noticed that you're doing this, but you are.
I kind of think to myself, she's suffering now. Of course she is. She suffered back then. She's continued to suffer since then. Fucking boyfriend of hers didn't help. Son of a bitch. But, still, I don't know. I don't know. What can I say or do? I just want to be out of the situation now. I didn't even want to be here. Why did I even come? Was it just to see Gabrielle? Probably was. Now I think about it. I didn't really want to see Ursula or anyone else. I don't know. Already, I don't like the situation at all. But we just need to get back on the road, and I kind of say, let's just get back on the road. Look, I've got the phone. We can, I think I have better GPS. We'll find our way back on the main road and just get somewhere warm.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's do that. How was the rest of life? You got a partner, got pets? or anything?
Oh. I blink, clearly caught off guard. Oh no pets, and,
I've got a really cute cat, actually.
Oh.
Her name is Medusa.
Oh, that's a cute name. Yeah. No. I don't have time for a pet, and not at the moment. Not at the moment. No. Yeah, not at the moment.
And we kind of take turns trying to talk nervously, and we kind of overlap each other, I feel, throughout this conversation, as I am trying to say something, and at the same time he is trying to say something, and it's a bit, it's nervous, but somehow soothing to just talk.
Yeah, it helps a little bit as you continue driving onward, and the thick fog suddenly begins to dissipate a little bit, and you find yourself in front of a 2-story house that towers like a clumsy beast in the fog. There's a cold light that shines from the entrance and out of a window on the 2nd floor. Thin veil of smoke that struggles toward the dark and rain-laden sky, rising from one of 2 chimneys. There's a small car that's parked by the stairs to the front door, but you don't see any people around. You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the adventure His Last Hope for KULT Divinity Lost. His Last Hope was written by Magnus Seter for the 2nd edition of KULT, and has been updated for KULT Divinity Lost as part of the Screams and Whispers scenario collection. The music was made by Atrium Carceri and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient for your gaming table. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Ludwig Manford, and Bob de Lange for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for KULT Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play KULT with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.